NIH scientists made $710 million in royalties from drug makers. Do you think that's appropriate? Do the American people deserve to be abused like that, Mr. Fauci? Because you're not doctor, you're Mr. Fauci in my opinion, and he belongs in prison.
Welcome back to Tracking That, a channel where we try to track what liberals are saying but end up not being able to as usual. So COVID was one of the biggest scams of my lifetime, a time where businesses were shut down, lives were ruined, and our country is now paying for it financially with all the spending bills that came from it. Not to mention requiring masking, distancing of 6 feet, which physically made no sense, employers firing others for not taking a shot, no evidence of such shot preventing the spread, really government overreach to the highest extent, and accountability for the scam is non-existent, but the House had the anticipated COVID hearing today, and Marjorie Taylor Greene completely destroyed Fauci, and she says Fauci should be charged with crimes against humanity. And one of those that, in my opinion, should be looked at is false imprisonment for states specifically closing certain businesses, not allowing us to go where we so please.
But you also told the American people they had to distance by 6 feet. They had to wear masks. But let's also talk a little bit further about the type of science that you represent. NIH scientists made $710 million in royalties from drug makers. A fact that's been hidden. Let's talk about the fact about, is it right for scientists and doctors getting paid by the American people, government taxpayer paychecks, to get patents where they're paid millions and hundreds of millions of dollars in royalty fees, especially when the NIH and these government agencies, most powerful agencies in our country, are recommending medical suggestions and advice and making up guidelines like 6 feet distancing and masking of children. Do you think that's appropriate? Do the American people deserve to be abused like that, Mr. Fauci? Because you're not doctor, you're Mr. Fauci in my few minutes. No, I don't need your answer. I want to talk about this right here.
Mr. Chairman,
objection.
Objection.
I reclaim my time. I reclaim my time, Mr. Raskin.
Gentlelady will suspend.
Mr. Chairman,
Point of order.
Just in terms of the rules of decorum, are we allowed to deny that a doctor is a doctor just because we don't want him to be a doctor?
Yes, because in my time, that man does not deserve to have a license. As a matter of fact, it should be revoked, and he belongs in prison.
Suspend.
If we're going to charge Trump with crimes for simply paying his lawyer with no evidence of wrongdoing, how about, since Republicans are more decent human beings, we charge Fauci with the crimes against humanity with actual evidence? And here we have Marjorie Taylor Greene answering a woke, biased reporter questions. This has to be one of the most heated interviews that I've seen her give.
In that room? No, absolutely not. I mean, everything I said is correct. It's how the American people feel. It's what we know to be a fact. It's all the evidence has been proven true. We have Jamie Raskin in there accusing us of worshiping Trump, worshiping as a convicted felon. He is a convicted felon. Well, yeah, so is George Floyd. And everybody, and you all too, the media worship George Floyd. Democrats worship George Floyd. There were riots burning down the country over George Floyd, and Raskin is in there saying we worship him. Excuse me, let me correct you, and this is really important. I don't worship, I worship God. God. And Jesus is my savior. I don't worship President Trump. And I'm really sick and tired of the bullshit annex I have to deal with constantly from the Democrats. So that's what we just went through in there. And then they're sitting there, they can attack my character all day long. What's his face in there, whoever was talking last was calling me insane, but yet we can't say, oh, they're attacking my character. Oh no, it's nonstop BS and annex. You want to know why? The Democrats don't have anything. They're responsible for the lockdowns, forced vaccinations, kids being forced to stay home, people committing suicide, and all the horrors that this country lived through during COVID. Fauci belongs in prison. He should be tried for mass murder, and he should be tried for crimes against humanity. That's how I feel after that hearing. That's how the American people feel.
George Floyd was a convicted felon who'd been arrested and charged 8 times before he was executed by the police. I mean, when he OD'd on methamphetamine. He committed armed robbery, a home invasion, did methamphetamine on multiple occasions, and was high on meth. Floyd once posed as a water repairman to force his way into a woman's home. His gang of thugs then followed him inside and robbed her while he pointed a gun at her belly. And yet, to this day, I have no idea where the feminists were in this situation. But that's fine, those same feminists believe should be allowed to be in women's locker rooms or safe spaces. But as they say, Democrats are going to continue to outwoke one another till they go so far left that they fall off a cliff. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for today's video. Should Mr. Fauci be charged with any crimes if Trump is?